Well, I started when I was 14, 13, 14. I started smoking weed. We got it from an older a friend of mine's older brother, and from there we 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 started experimenting with whatever we could get our hands on.
I was peer pressured the first time I smoked weed, and my reaction, I was scared.
You know, it's tough when you're a teenager, when you're a kid, and you're trying to find the right group of friends to hang out with. Sometimes you make some stupid decisions, and a lot of people say there's no peer pressure out there. But when you're faced with this is your group of friends and they start graduating to doing drugs, and it's either I'm left on the outside with no friends or I can go with them. I mean, it doesn't even have to be said. Peer pressure is just the pressure you put on yourself to fit in and to be a part of something.
Yeah. My clinicians do their work in schools because we figure that's where kids are. And I don't know if you guys have seen this all, but we've certainly found that a lot of youth are using in school, buying and selling in school. In the Boston area, we're seeing a lot of marijuana. Some of the surrounding towns, we're seeing some more pills that are like opiate oriented, as well as a little bit of cocaine here and there. So.
Have you ever lost any friends over substances, illegal substances?
Yeah, I have a lot of friends.
How do you feel?
In high school, we got introduced to alcohol and things like marijuana and stuff. And when I was young, I was curious, and those were like the beginnings to worse things. After that, it just got progressively worse.
As I progressively went up from doing party drugs like ecstasy and acid to like harder like Oxycontin, it was to completely numb any emotion.
The first time I ever actually saw somebody on drugs, I was about 14 or 15 in one of my good friend's boyfriend's car, and he pulled over and he started sniffing cocaine right in the middle of the car, which to me, I instantly wanted to get out of the car. It made me so nervous. I felt disgusting, and it was just like the most awkward. I didn't even know how to react to it, and it just kind of like my body was instantly turned off. Didn't want to have anything to do with it.
My mother threw me out the house because she couldn't handle me. From my high school, I was a star baseball player my junior year. Got thrown out 2 months into my senior year. It went from, sharing drugs with friends. It progressively got worse to where I was sleeping on couches. I was homeless. I was selling drugs. And as I progressed from oxys to heroin, like you lose everything. You lose your family. You lose your friends. Nobody wants to be around you, and you lose yourself. Like I didn't know who I was for a long time.
Drugs absolutely have the potential to like destroy families.
Picture your mother looking at you and seeing a complete stranger, or your sister not seeing you for a year, your mother not seeing you for a couple years, your father, the only time he sees you is in shackles in court. I mean, seeing your child's name in the paper for arrest for, I got caught selling drugs, I got caught stealing, I got arrested for the dumbest things in the world. And it's just, you just disgrace your family's name. Your friends don't want to be around you.
You don't hear all the stories or see really what's going on. So I was kind of, I guess, oblivious to how people actually were for a long time. I didn't really care. It wasn't a big deal until I actually started seeing the downfall of my friends' lives and actually having to go to my first wake and funeral for somebody that overdosed on it. It was kind of like a slow process of watching my friends basically turn into somebody that they weren't, and just like really became like just a completely different person, mentally wise, the way they looked and everything, and it kind of sucked.
I was his teacher. Roberto was in our freshman class, my second year teaching at the school.
I started off in a similar thing, kind of like an after-school youth thing.
He was like one of the youth employees of the year for the Boston Summer Youth Programs. He got an award from the Mayor Menino. You know, he was achieving while at the same time he was, you know, having more trouble processing his anger, having more trouble at home, and having more trouble with alcohol.
I tried cocaine and ecstasy, and then finally the thing that got me was heroin. And since I was like 16, 17, you know, it's been just a downward spiral. I've been an addict since I was probably 15, and it's been long and difficult. I wanted to do something, you know, with my life that helped people. I didn't want to just be another statistic in a way, that, you know, just average teenager who just like overdoses and, you know, dies or something. I wanted to do something. I wanted to be someone, and it's no way. You can't go to school. You can't, you know, finish school and work when you're, you know, on drugs or that deeply addicted to drugs.
Drug addiction, like, it's a whole lifestyle. You gotta come up with a score to get the drug that you need because you physically need it. Because if you don't have it in your system, you cannot function. You can't do anything. You're curled up in a ball like a little baby sucking your thumb, is the best way to put it. And it completely cripples you as a person, you know. And then you manipulate every loved one. Anybody that cares about you, you know. You can take your parents' love and just twist it into let me get some money for this time because I need to do this, that, and the other, when you know you're just lying to them to get money to go get the drug that you need.
At some point, he actually he stole from my house, and he stole liquor, of all things, and he filled up the bottles with water and thought we wouldn't notice, that kind of a thing.
I've had people show up to my house during high school and ask my mom for $10 because their car ran out of gas, when 2 months later you find out that he was just really needed money for weed or something like that.
Whenever a young man like Roberto is well, he's a hero. But when he isn't, there's nothing you can do for him.
Most addicts, what has to happen is you have to hit a bottom, which what they call rock bottom, and you have to realize for yourself that you can't keep living on that way.
When I was 16, I was one of the stars of the baseball team that had the best record in school history. I was somewhat of a popular kid, and in 5 short years, I'm 120 pounds with rocks in my pocket, dead dope sick, looking in the mirror, and I look like death. And when I looked in that mirror, I didn't see the same person that, you know, that my mother would say that she saw as a kid. Like, I saw a complete stranger. I didn't know who the hell was looking back at me. And I remember I went down to L Street Beach, and I just walked along the water, still sick, and just realized, like, I'm gonna be dead at the rate that I was going. And I went to a halfway house, and it saved my life, basically.
I really started my recovery journey when I was 18, 19, and I had my first almost year of sobriety. I had a few difficult relapses, but I always came back, you know, got back on, you know, my goal, which is to stay clean and, you know, do something with my life. Figured what better way to, you know, give back than to do the same thing and come in, you know, and talk to you guys.
For all the bad stuff that I've done, I'm trying to, you know, replace it with good things.
Well, one of the things that kept me pretty much alive, I would say, is my passion for writing. I kept writing. I started writing my own series of books. I write poems whenever I can, and it's been like my foundation to getting my life back together is writing.
Say I'm having a bad day and I want to go get high, I go write a story about getting high. And then when I'm finished with it, I'm like, oh, that feels better. It's like a weight off my chest. Or, you know, I'm angry at somebody, I go and write, and I'm not that mad at them right after.
I learned to channel a lot of my, you know, emotions into writing.
I can go talk about those bad times. And that way I never have to go back there. Like that's the hope. I can write about it and leave it in those, in those notes and put it away over there.